Sergei Rakuba is president of Mission Eurasia and has been in the region of Ukraine, including Ukraine, in the past couple of weeks. Sergei, I know it's the end of another long day for you. There have been nothing but long days for you and all the volunteers there, and we reached you in your room before you retire for the night. But I just have to talk to you and ask you how you've been spending your time there and what's been accomplished. And it's such a great need. Is it making a difference? So go ahead and tell me what's going on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wayne. Actually, good to talk to you. It's been quite a long last number of days since I arrived here, a few days after Russia started shelling Ukrainian cities. We knew that something huge is coming. And even being prepared, so we thought, so that it will be like similar we experienced last few years in the eastern Ukraine area there. But apparently, so this invasion, this war is a lot larger scale and a lot deeper tragedy. And I don't know. So that's so last several days I arrived since I arrived in Poland, in Warsaw, I was coordinating with our staff that stayed back in Ukraine. We evacuated their families, they're in safer place, they're in safe place. But all our staff, so they stayed back there and now oversee and manage, a large scale operation providing food, which is the largest, probably that's the most immediate need. They provide food for those who are running for their lives, families that left their homes in central or farther eastern Ukraine, running into western parts of Ukraine and farther into neighboring countries. So we were able to launch this large-scale I Care Ukraine project, and our staff was able to mobilize a network of over 1,000 young volunteers. In between these several churches, we based our food distribution hubs, one in northern western side of Ukraine in the city of Lutsk. Actually, that town was hit 2 days ago at night.
We saw that. We saw the reports of that attack. Yes.
Yeah, and based on a local network of churches with one central church there, so we were able to start packing, distributing food and delivering back to central parts of Ukraine and the areas where the fighting is going now. And also another hub in food distribution hub in southwest of Ukraine in a city called Chernivtsi. And that's, based on all our work, so we've developed working with young leaders. It seems like, we all they were all prepared for the time like this. This young men and women now on the front line of this still growing catastrophe, and they take the baton, so faithfulness from leadership, for leadership, and lead the force, helping those who are in a tremendous need there. So with these two main hubs in Ukraine, we already were able to pack and distribute over 7,000 family food packages. And we're so grateful, Wayne. People in the United States and Canada, in the rest of the world, they give so sacrificially. $50 enable us to pack enough food in one package for a family a family of 4 or 5 people that will get sustained for at least 1 week. And the shortage of food, it comes to the edge of a catastrophe now. That's what. So we're delivering food into country from neighboring countries. We are scrapping all what we can in the western parts of Ukraine, all wholesale markets, all what we can get, and pack food and deliver to those who are in need.
I understand these are being packed by volunteers in Ukraine. And tell me what happened at one of those locations.
Wayne, everything is done by volunteers, so the church is just shining, if I can say, rising from the ashes of this destruction, this war. and preaching the gospel, as I say, through the practical, in a practical way, helping, their communities. This is all done by volunteers. We spend money, we're purchasing food, we're spending money on transportation, we're, hiring trucks. By the way, thank you to a family that just made a donation, Wayne, purchasing 6 box trucks for us, so that
Wonderful.
will be delivering food from neighboring countries into Ukraine, and where it's all repacked and delivered farther where the people are in need more.
Wow.
So just the other night, as we know, we had another packing session, we would call it, and we call all the people in the neighboring kind of areas. That's where volunteers are. So the Russian missiles hit that night the local airport. But that's about less than a mile from the place where our distribution place hub is.
And how many
And
people were a part of that packing volunteer army?
at least maybe 100 volunteers.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so they're taking shifts, so they take 2-3 hours, they shift, so others are loading, so packing, loading on trucks, so and ship off, farther. So, but we thought, since, so the bombing happened, nobody would come, everybody was scared, hiding, of course, and we're just overwhelmed with the response, even more than we invited, showed in the morning at that church basement, so.
It didn't deter them at all, huh?
No, not at all.
Wow.
So the courage, boldness of leadership, everyone, so they want to not just helping each other. They say, we're fighting for our own victory. People are discouraged, so the world is watching, they're so grateful to the body of believers. The church is giving so sacrificially. I'm talking on a global scale. The world is helping, the community is helping, but they say we're so discouraged, so that the governments, are still waiting for something, not making any decisions to help us. We're left, to ourselves. So we're fighting. We're doing this for our own victory, for our own freedom, and that's so encouraging to see the will to resist. So this invasion, Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are so grateful to all who have supported our emergency fund, and for all those volunteers, those brave volunteers who are showing up even in the most difficult of circumstances. We praise God for them, and it teaches us how to pray in the days ahead here, Sergey. Now, that's amazing. 7,000 food packs have gone into the country of Ukraine. This came through our network of friends and churches in Poland, but we're also working out of Moldova, where we have an office for Mission Eurasia. And you actually are in Moldova right now. What's been going on there?
Yeah, I'm currently here in Moldova working with our team, coordinating or overseeing, our immediate response, of course. And the similar things happen in Poland, with one difference, that people in Moldova, they speak the language. So lots of Ukrainians, they like to come here, although it's a poor country. Moldovan economy would not allow, like other countries, probably to give a better care, for refugees. But I'm just so amazed, and my heart is just as it's broken, but it warms up, when I see the response of the local churches, local believers.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we spent the entire day at one of the border crossings from Ukraine to Moldova, and seeing people are pouring, on constant basis. Families, just imagine, so they just said goodbye to their husbands, their fathers, their brothers, their sons, so they cross the border, and seeing these young moms carrying their children, leading their elderly, helping, to cross the border, get in line, try to get on a bus where they take them to places where they get registered. But looking into their eyes, Wayne, you can see they're lost. They left everything, just carrying maybe one suitcase, and you see a baby or a kid, carrying his stuffed animal. That's the only thing reminds him about home back in somewhere in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like holding a hand of a little kid. Wayne, I'm sorry. His name is Sammy.
Oh.
He's 5-year-old. He was just cleaning onto his blanket, so he was using for last 2 weeks with his mom and his younger brother, hiding in the basement. And finally, they decided they need to move on because there was no end for the shelling, and there was an opportunity, was a chance for them to escape. So they were able to get in a car with somebody, and it took them about 5 days to get that border. So they're already on the foreign territory, standing in line, holding his mom and that blanket. He is asking, looking back at the border crossing. That's he, and he's asking, and is my daddy going to come?
Oh,
Is it
Sergey.
going
Oh,
to end? Yeah.
wow.
So, and you can repeat the story thousands and
Yes.
thousands of times.
It's
And this is
unimaginable.
but seeing how the church in Moldova embraces this need. Okay, besides the immediate needs like food, so medical shelter, medical assistance. The pastoral care is in enormous need, Wayne, and that's what Mission Eurasia is doing now. Working with
Excellent.
local churches there, and we really think we need to recruit, we can invite, and deploy more people that can accommodate that need, working with local people, provide pastoral care, counseling, trauma counseling for all these refugees there.
Yeah.
So last night I spent a couple of hours in a center organized by the Moldovan National Association, Evangelical Christian Baptist Union in Moldova. And listen, everything, every single, whatever resources available to them, every single building, room is accommodated, open to house, to provide shelter to these refugee families. All pastors, they are on duty 24/7, working, picking them up, providing help for them, helping them to get registered, feeding them, praying with them, caring for them. So that's what I see here in Moldova. And we as Mission Eurasia, we have a strong hub here. And I just got back in my room, that's after the service, we had a big packing session again. And to see our School with the Walls group here, these young leaders, I'm talking about youth, when they're all early, mid-20s, it took them maybe, I don't know, a couple hours just to pack another few hundred those food packages that already being loaded, and delivered farther there, where a larger community of refugees is accumulating.
Yeah. Time is of the essence, I understand. Well, for our friends in Moldova, please assure them of our prayers for them as they serve their Ukrainian brothers and sisters, and they're doing so under a cloud themselves because no one's certain what's going to happen to the country of Moldova. Ukraine is at war. Russia is at war with Ukraine right now, and we don't know if that's going to stop at the border of Moldova or not. So we do pray earnestly for them. Sergey, our friends can get prayer updates from you, and that's available on our website, of course, and social media, and I urge our friends to do that. But you're very specific on the prayer request there. But what's on your heart tonight as you prepare to retire for the night and get a little bit of rest for what's ahead in the next few days? But what's on your heart for prayer right now?
Just to pray for our, I can't pray for our staff there behind the border, in Ukraine.
Yes.
They work tirelessly and they are on the line of danger 24/7. So their families are in safer places. They are outside of the country, but pray for them, so that they are safe. We have a goal, Wayne. Of course, besides all this, so we were able to launch this larger scale. Right from the beginning of this war, we were able to launch a large scale volunteer network, get into this and already started helping people. So we have our goals, so that's immediate goals, but we're already planning, praying for a longer term strategies, how we can accommodate helping these refugees, working together with local churches, how
Yes.
we get other networks in it. But it's a long term, how we minister to these millions now of refugees in the neighboring countries of Ukraine.
Yes.
So we continue feeding them now. We need resources, Wayne. We really need resources, and to continue providing food. But we already start building plants, and we need resources on deploying more staff. Deploying plants. We are thinking about printing hundreds of thousands of Christian materials
Mm.
that will be used outside of Ukraine. In the ministering, reaching out, helping the refugee families in Poland, in Moldova, in other countries, Slovakia, Slovenia, Czech Republic, and Hungary.
Yeah.
And that's what's on my mind. So going to bed, I will call my wife. We'll talk to her. We'll pray with
Good,
her,
good. Okay.
and my little one.
I know she'll
And
be anxious to hear from you again, so you do that. I
absolutely.
won't keep you much longer, but let me just add a perspective on what's been provided and what is needed, because yes, we in our minds have goals set for this project, but in a very real sense, we cannot outgive this need. This need is going to go on for a long, long time, and I would just urge our friends, if they haven't been involved, to get involved in this emergency fund. It is so very, very important, and I'm glad to know that we're networking with our friends and churches all over the region and with other ministries as well. We're working hand in hand with so many. So, Sergey, thank you for this report. I don't know if we'll have the opportunity to connect again soon, but please know that we are praying for you and the team each and every day.
Thank you so much, Wayne. Thank you.